Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Pack Sweats Live. I am TJ Lasik. I am your host here at Own the Moment, and today we're going to be live sweating the long-awaited Cool Cats pack drop. We've all been sitting, waiting for the past couple of hours now, but fingers crossed, we are about 25 minutes away from the Cool Cats 2 packs dropping live into the NBA Top Shot ecosystem. We're excited to break it all down for you here today, and hopefully we all end up with some packs. As always, I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Justin Herzig. Justin, how are we doing on this Monday evening?
I'm doing well, and I see people already giving producer Coop some flack for that. He put that together so quickly today in advance. I was extremely impressed. He's going to clean it up. Don't worry about that choppy. I love what he was able to do there. That got me pumped, even though I had to kind of bring my pump down every 25 seconds, but then it got me right back up.
Yeah, hey, we're still working on that. We got some feedback that we were starting the shows too quickly before people could get in. So about 15 minutes ago, I asked Coop if we could get a longer video. So that's why it had to be so choppy. That's on us. We put this together at the last minute. We will definitely improve that in the future, but I think the song was still pretty hype. So, all right, welcome everyone. We're going to walk through what has happened over the course of the past couple hours. Obviously, the intention was for the Cool Cats packs to be dropping, about 3.5-4 hours ago at this point. Due to some technical issues, that did not quite happen. We'll go over a little bit of the office hours, but don't want to focus too much on the negative side of things. I mean, from my view, I'd rather it be delayed and be a pack drop that works as expected once it goes live than have the issue that we've had before where people were not getting their fair shot at getting packs. So appreciate everyone's patience, and hey, the hype just makes it all more worth it. I think that we're going to have a busy night ahead of us after these packs drop, and we've already seen some crazy things happening because we had the Cool Cats 2 challenge announced, which then sent off a frenzy in the marketplace for all of the base moments that are a part of the Cool Cats 2 challenge. There was another interesting tidbit about the Master Challenge during the office hours. We've had some talk about projections of what we think the Cool Cats are going to be going for. So a lot to cover here, Justin. Where would you like to start?
Let's start. So just today, from a Top Shots, Dapper Labs tech kind of standpoint, I completely agree with you. Would rather this get pushed back and delayed a bit than have any issues with impropriety, fraud, any kind of issues, bots, whatever it is, just site malfunction and leading to a equitable drop. So obviously a bit frustrating pushing it back, but hey, we wouldn't be here live tonight if we didn't get this pushed back. So definitely condolences for the people in other parts of the world, Europe, Asia. I know this is a more challenging one. That's why I believe they wanted to do that 3 p.m. because it kind of included a bit more time zones. But we're just hoping that they get it right. And the news from what we heard today, that they're very quickly were transparent in communication and saying that there were 70,000 people on the site shortly before the pack drop today. We have never seen more than, I think, around 35,000 in a pack drop, in any of the tests before. So that number right there is surprising. Alarming a little, maybe even. And I say that because, for the past 48 hours, there's no question they've gotten an influx of signups. And I think a majority of those are probably legitimate signups. We had the Yahoo Finance article. We've seen some additional just organic, I don't want to call it marketing because it's not paid marketing, but just organic from a social media standpoint. There has been a lot more interest in this. So it's not surprising that we're seeing more people signing up. Hey, we're here early on, and we believe that's the long-term trend as well. What was a bit more, concerning is shortly before the pack drop is when we started, Dapper Labs, Top Shot told us that they started seeing an not normal, a number that's a bit more surprising, a little more alarming before the pack drop, which probably, it does make me think that some people see that, hey, for me to create an account all I have to do is have a Gmail address. And considering anybody can make a Gmail address, I think there's concerns that is there fraud going on or multi-accounting issues. And the policy right now is that multi-accounting is not allowed. And there is a grace period for people who had it before. That's going to end soon. But the question becomes, okay, well, what about your wife? What about your spouse? What about your family members? Are they allowed? We got a Twitter question immediately after posting this from Kevin Platts that asked, question of the day, can I make my son a Top Shot account if he has a different email address, or is that against the rules? And I think we can all agree that, I don't actually know if I can agree, because if it is your son and your son's into sports cards and stuff, then maybe your son should have the ability to have one of the accounts too. And I don't know what the over 18 policy is there, but same thing. Maybe you have a brother that you want to get in. Now, obviously, that's just a difficult situation because it can be abused. But I think that's something that Top Shot is realizing is an issue, and we'll probably have a more. Okay, there we go. Under 18 is against terms of service. So the son one, if your son's under 18, would not work. But obviously, what about other family members? And I think that's something that we'll consider. See, but there's a lot of stuff there. At the end of the day, all I'm saying is I agree with TJ. I'm glad we're here now. We're 20 minutes away. If this can go off without hitch, if this can go off where majority of people we see are actually getting the one per account, or if they're getting the multiple, it's because they got their back in line. That would be a success, even if we had a little kind of unfortunate delays.
Yep, we are precisely 19 minutes away from the drop right now. So if you have not joined the wait list already, please go ahead and do so. The wait list is open. Just head on over to the Top Shot website, click right on the cool packs. You can join the wait list drop. There's going to be 45,000 packs released today. So it from my understanding, there's 50,000 packs in this drop, but they like to hold around 10% back for random kind of promotions or marketing in the future. So 45,000 will be the number. Each of the packs will contain 1 cool cat and 4 base moments. As we probably know by now, but I can run through it again. The cool cats are PJ Washington, DeMarcus Cousins, John Wall, Tyler Hero, and Julius Randle. And then we also heard earlier today, saw earlier today, the announcements of the Cool Cats 2 Challenge, which is going to have Anthony Davis as the reward. And in addition to those 5 Cool Cats, you will need to have the base moments of TJ McConnell, Michael Porter Jr., Eric Bledsoe, Stanley Johnson, and Will Barton. So we saw some crazy stuff in the marketplace. We saw Will Barton going for as high as $45, I think, which is certainly overvalued. And we also know that these moments are going to be a part of the base pack as well. So you could be fortunate enough to pull a Will Barton, which is probably the value of Will Barton, pulling him in your pack today definitely increased. And I actually already had a Will Barton from a base pack I had opened a while ago. So I was lucky that I had happened to hold on to that and didn't sell him. And now he's at by far the highest value he's ever had.
Right. And TJ, someone in our Discord made a very astute, something I saw, observation is that nearly half of the Bartons are not actually distributed yet. So a significant amount of those are still going to be in either, we know, I think it was something around like 3,000 of them are going to be in this evening's Cool Cats drop. There's probably going to be more commons that they'll drop in. So the price right now, the supply is not that 12,000 that we see the LE. And so because of that, supply is kind of understated, or it's overstated for what is actually out there. It is probably the reason why that one jacked up in price so quickly is because when people were buying out the floor and raising it, you just didn't have as many out there. So it's more easy for that to rise up. So I know I made the decision. I was like, hey, I have a Barton that I similarly pulled in a pack a little while back, and I was like, well, it's at $38. This may not be the top for the short term, but I'm going to sell it because I believe that sometime in the challenge, especially once they come out, there will be more available in that kind of sub 30, maybe even sub 25, 20 range. So, not a huge profit, but, nice little penny and gives the Dapper account a couple more dollars to buy some packs.
Yeah. And your intention is to buy back your Barton later on, right? And still go for that challenge. Yeah, I think the more that I mean, we saw with the gift this past weekend. I think the more we're spending in this Top Shot world, there's a lot of edge to be had with how you play the challenges. We're seeing the Luca Cool Cat. That was the reward for the first challenge. He's now trading at, I think I saw close to 1,500, or actually, no, I think he got up to like 1,700. So Luca has been increasing in price. So anyone that not only completed the first challenge, but then also decided to maybe double down and buy an extra Luca or buy some extra Cool Cats, we've seen all of those prices inflate. I think that is largely in preparation for the Master Challenge. I'll also drop one note that I heard on the office hours, and it's nothing official yet, but they did tease that there's going to be some element of the Master Challenge where there will be a full base set challenge, and the reward for that will be one of the Cool Cats that is needed for the Master Challenge. Now, they did not say whether or not that challenge will be inclusive of base moments from the Cool Cats, but I had seen them tease that before. So that's kind of my guess. I personally have held on to all the base moments from my Cool Cats 1 as well. And I would personally recommend that everyone do the same. I think just the chance of that upside doesn't make it worth selling those. So if you're holding on to a full set from Cool Cats 1, I recommend holding on to those and giving yourself that optionality going forward. We're getting in the home stretch here. 14 minutes left. I'm checking out the chat right now. We've got 172 people watching. So thank you guys for spending this Pack Drop Sweat with us. If you're not a subscriber and you are enjoying any of our content so far, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button. We really do appreciate that. If you're enjoying the show, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment. Follow us on Twitter at OwnTheMomentNFT. We're constantly trying to bring all of the information to the people as we hear it. And just, thank you guys so much for the support. We've got an awesome show planned tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We will have Jack Settleman on as our guest. Jack is very, very into all of the NBA Top Shots. He's owner of one of the most prestigious LeBron James moments that you could possibly own in all of Top Shot. So really looking forward to sitting down with Jack tomorrow night, having a good time with him, learning a little bit more about how he approaches the game. You excited to talk with Jack, Justin?
And it's a very timely, it's very timely that he's coming on tomorrow night because, as someone's already mentioning in here, he's been a bit vocal about this challenge. Specifically, I think he had a tweet earlier today where he said he believes that the LaMelo is going to be extremely valuable to the tune of there will be less than 1,000 that complete the Master Challenge, so less than 1,000 minted, and that value would then be around $7,000 the floor. I am not as optimistic as that. I think more are going to complete the challenge in that 1,000 standpoint, but it'll be really interesting because, as someone else also mentioned, he publicly announced that he bought another Luca, or I don't know if it was the first one. I believe he probably completed the challenge on. So I would guess he bought another Luca for 1,500, and since then we've now seen Luca all the way up to 1,700. Just skyrocketing. And without a doubt, our initial estimate was at that 800 range, which is about what it came out at. But now that we're learning more about the challenges, now that we're learning more about the LaMelo, we saw what happened with the other LaMelo rookie in price-wise. So it makes sense that we adjust what our previous thoughts were around a value, and we can see that, hey, is it going to be worth 1,700? Is it going to keep going up? It'll be very interesting because that is, as we've been saying from the beginning, we believe that's going to be the bottleneck for this challenge. So for people that want to complete the challenge, I think that's going to be the most challenging of the Cool Cats to own.
Yeah. It's got the double whammy, right? Because you combine the fact that not only is it the most expensive Cool Cat, but it's also the most scarce and the hardest to get your hands on. So it does seem like I would expect that price to keep going in an upward direction. And I don't really see a ton of reason as to why it would pull back. I think that the majority of the people that own one of those Lucas right now either own it for one of two reasons. Either number one, they themselves are looking to complete the Master Challenge and they're going to be holding on to that Luca in order to do so. Or number two, they bought a second Luca with the intent of flipping it, and in my view, those people are going to wait a lot longer than this to flip it because they probably see that scarcity and that bottleneck coming down the pipeline. And I just think that in general, people that are holding multiple Lukas are probably some of the sharper people on NBA Top Shot and are approaching that in a pretty strategic way. So going to be interesting to see what happens. Anytime we have a new pack drop, I feel like it pours a little gasoline into the NBA Top Shot marketplace and gets things really moving. We had a very active weekend in the marketplace following the Thursday night pack drop, and I expect that to continue. And it's interesting because you generally see prices trend in an upward direction too. It's hard to gauge because on one hand, yes, you're increasing the supply that comes into the system, but on the other hand, you're introducing almost a lot of like money into the ecosystem because people are paying $14, but then they're going to be able to, we think, turn that around for $150 right off the bat if they want to sell their Cool Cat. And then once we get more of those people in action, it almost just brings more people into the playing field. So I think we have two populations of people getting Cool Cats today. You have folks that have been around for a while and are thinking more long-term and maybe looking to go for the Cool Cats challenge. But then I think you still have a group of people that are kind of that flipper mentality, and they're viewing this pack drop not as, oh, it's the Cool Cats pack drop, I can complete the Cool Cat challenge. They're viewing it as, hey, I can spend $14, flip this really quick, and then get myself involved in the marketplace.
Yep. And so when we think about marketplace for especially what we're going to have a little less than 250,000 moments hit the marketplace after the drop tonight. What I expect to happen there is the players that are not as sexy, the ones that aren't rookies, the ones that aren't as well known, I think people will, they get those and they're just going to put those in the marketplace and just try to get rid of them. So if you have a player that you are, optimistic on their trajectory and you want to see, hey, this is probably a good time to buy low on that player, because I do think those non-exciting players are going to drop as people decide, hey, I just want to get rid of this because I don't know much about the player. I don't really care about this player. Give me my couple dollars, whatever it is, so I can take that money and now go buy maybe, someone else, whether it's one of the better players, one of the rookies or something, and use that cash towards it. So remember, obviously the marketplace is going to be closed during the actual drop. But if you're able to stay up late, if you're on the West Coast, probably even tomorrow morning as people start opening their packs. But check out that marketplace. There are going to be a ton of steals. And I kind of just want to see TJ's face on this one. But speaking of steals, hey, TJ, that Kawhi that you just spent like $600 on?
Yeah, would you get a cheaper one?
No, I didn't, but someone else got one for $15.
How? What?
Someone accidentally posted or something.
Oh my goodness.
I'm talking about the
That's
Kawhi
insane.
Dunk. It's his base set Series 1. It's, I believe, the one that's going to get the first moment. It's out of about $1,256. And someone 2 hours ago when I was just going through, the previous sale was $739, and then this one for $15.
Wow.
So, hey, keep an eye on the marketplace. You may not find a value that good. You may not find a $180 Cosmic Booker, but I do think there are going to be a lot of people taking those packs they got, keeping maybe the Cool Cat, getting rid of the others and putting it out.
Yeah, definitely. And I definitely recommend, and I try to do it for myself, having some funds available coming into any pack drop, just because of that opportunity that's going to present itself, right? It's like again, think about the people that have been sitting around for a week, 2 weeks, waiting for these packs. They're going to want to get their packs and get into the action. So I try to make sure that I have some funds available to play around in the marketplace. I also think that's a little bit why we saw some liquidation late yesterday as this Cool Cats pack was announced. I think just in general, anytime we've seen a new pack or a new challenge or anything like that come in, a little bit of a natural liquidation, a natural pullback is going to happen, which also made sense after the market pretty much just straight pumped for 48 hours. We saw not only massive increases in the Luka and the other Cool Cats, but we saw all of the rookies, both the Series 2 rookies and the Series 1 rookies skyrocketing. I think what we're finding is a lot more people becoming aware of the upcoming badges that are going to be placed on some of these rookies. We're seeing the market get a little bit more efficient, but still plenty of deals to be had out there, in my view. I know that I had an active week in the marketplace. I posted a couple of the things that I did on Twitter, but essentially I had received a legendary pack last week. I then sold the hollow icon that I got there, liquidated that in favor of a couple other Series 1 moments. And then I was fortunate enough to have a second hollow icon one as well. And I did the same thing there. After your advice last night, Justin, I had a Drew Holiday hollow icon. I decided to just get rid of it and just felt like it was too good of an opportunity to be holding on something like that I think is going to increase in value, but I don't know that it's going to increase as rapidly as some of the opportunities that we should have in the next couple of hours as these packs drop in 5 minutes here. And we saw an update from Top Shot, so it seems like we're all systems go. At least yeah. I would have assumed that if there was going to be another delay, we would have heard that by now. So it should be game time here.
And we've had the queue working for the past 2 hours or so. So not expecting any issues there. I was looking at another monitor, so I saw from Jacob in Discord, it says that we have disabled signups for the near future as we drop this pack. So that's at least probably in response to what we were hearing in the office hours with regards to potential just fraudulent activity. But I'm excited. So going into today, I was like, okay, 35,000 people are going to be in. Maybe, see some funny business or more signups, and it was a little higher than that. But I was like, okay, we're all going to be able to. I even joked to TJ. I was like, is this actually going to be a sweat? Because obviously we're going to get one. There aren't that many. And then when we saw that there's 70,000 people online today, that was shocking. So I still think that people who are in the queue right now will be able to get one, at least one cool cat pack. I'd just be really surprised if that's 70,000 or if there's going to be a 70,000 person queue. But hey, to be honest, it would be unfortunate if you don't get one. But if there was legitimately a 50, 60, 70,000 queue, then if you're one of the unfortunate ones who don't get one, be happy, because take solace in the fact that is an amazing sign for the site from a long-term standpoint of just that level of user growth when it's still completely organic. They're not actually doing any paid marketing. And what really happened over the last couple of days, just a couple interviews that Roham did, some excitement here and there, maybe a weekend, maybe as we said last Thursday with the successful pack drops, a challenge here or there, be a business as usual stuff that is just going to grow this marketplace.
Absolutely. The more people, the better. I do hope that all of the people that have been in the Top Shot game are able to get a cool cat pack today. I do feel like the Top Shot team's intention with releasing 45,000 at once was to get everyone a pack. Yep. So hopefully that comes true. And I know that we've seen a lot of frustrated people on Twitter and in the general Discord. And it is what it is. But part of me is I guess a couple things. Number one, if you don't like it, then you don't have to wait around and try to get a pack. To me, all these people that are spending all their time complaining about Top Shot clearly still like Top Shot, or else they just wouldn't be bothering anymore. So that's number one. And like I said at the beginning of the show, number two, I'm glad that they are prioritizing the functionality working as expected over trying to rush and get something out. And I respect the fact that they saw an issue or a concern where they thought that maybe there were some illegitimate accounts potentially being involved and had some issues and decided to pull the plug on it. And hopefully things are able to go smoothly now as we have a minute and 30 seconds here. I'm also curious to see how long this is really going to take. And so what will the experience be for somebody that pulls a really low number and is one of the first people? They will get their cool cats back, and then they'll be able to just hop right back in line. The marketplace will still not be open until all the packs are distributed. Is that the understanding?
I would guess so.
That's my biggest question right now. Does the marketplace open because then we would have a similar situation to like we saw with the gift, right? Where some people had some people have their cool cats, some people won't. Yeah. Yeah,
because that was a release. And that's why it's a little more questionable. They've mentioned that, hey, this might take 3 hours to go through 50,000. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, so and yeah, I've seen there's been a bunch of good questions. So yeah, definitely
Yes,
we'll try to go through. But here, so Joey here, so few times, are you trying to complete this cool cat challenge? I think my goal is I am going to do everything possible to get the all 29. And then the week of the master challenge completion is when I will make a decision on whether or not it makes sense to literally sell all 29 of those for a profit, or if I hold on to them to get LaMelo. And that's something that we'll continue to monitor. We'll see how many people are actually completing it. We can see, where these cats are in various accounts and stuff. But without a doubt, we're planning on completing it through this process. But we adjust as things go, because if we find out that, all right, there we go. If we find out that these prices are just ludicrous, and we decide that it's cheaper to wait until and buy an ED in them afterwards, then that's something we'll do too. But in general, we're trying to at least go through the process of completing it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat there. Saw someone else asking if they're not going for the challenge, what do they think the best strategy is? We've kind of seen a general trend of pricing on the challenge moments, in that if you're able to be one of the first people to list it at an extremely high price, there tends to be a couple that sell really high. Then we often see right after that kind of like a selling war, where the lowest ask will just sink through the floor because you have a bunch of people that are just trying to flip at the same time. And then usually I would say within 24 hours, things kind of stabilize. So my personal recommendation would be to what?
Number of users in line ahead of you, 53,262.
No way. 53,000 people? You might not even get one.
I mean, I've got
12,000.
Yeah, we'll see. Everyone's putting their numbers. Has anybody got a higher one than me? I see 52,000. Come on. Anyone beat my 53,000?
That's nuts.
There we go. Nate Stevens also
7,300. Couple people, 53K. Wow. So there's at least 53,000. That's a lot. That's crazy. I was not sure how. I did not think we would have over 50. I did not think we would have over 50,000 people. That is pretty wild.
Yeah.
That's the case.
I'm seeing 54s. I must be near the bottom.
I'm seeing some people saying they're in the 49,000s. I mean, you guys should theoretically be good. If you're in the 49,000, I guess because there's only 45,000. That's right. I forgot. It's not 50. Oh man, this is going to be interesting. All right, it really is a true pack sweat. A little bit more than
all a sweat for a reason.
Man, oh man. Zach says I'm a fool for not thinking over 50. I apologize, Zach. I apologize for being a fool. That's just what I thought, man. We never had 50,000 before, so it's good that you were able to realize that was going to be the case. All right. So wow. So okay. Now that we know how much volume there is here, what do we think that means? I guess that would just even increase more the demand that is going to be had for these cool cats, and probably drive prices up even higher than we were originally thinking.
Yeah. So first, let me do this real quick. Do not exit the line. If you are over 45,000, there's still a legitimate chance that you are going to receive a pack, because they still have to go through the process. People drop, credit cards don't work. Who knows what ends up happening, but do not drop if you are over that 45,000, because you do still have a chance at getting it. So we'll continue watching that. And then what do I think about this? So I hope that it's 50,000 unique people. And I hope that it's not, we've had the same 30,000 that before, and now it's just, some people are trying to, skirt some of the rules or skirt some of the ambiguity. But if it is legitimately, we have 50,000 unique people trying to get these, I think it probably says it's tough, because theoretically it should increase the demand. We have more people. We can compare it to what we saw. We were at 35,000 for the first cool cats, and there were 5,000 of them. I still think that the price of these cool cats is going to settle around like a 150 to 200, and not too dissimilar from before, taking into account the increased demand, but also taking into account the increased supply. We'll continue to monitor, but and Eric, I see what you're saying. Multiple accounts is still allowed. Their policy is that you can only have one account, but there's a grace period to converting. And yep, completely agree. I think the challenge that I was referencing earlier, though, is okay, well, what if it is one account per person, but you have multiple people in your family and you're signing up with other people's information? That's just a very difficult challenge for them to police. Yeah. TJ, someone's asking, what was your number?
I am number 12,000.
Okay, nice.
So I should be good to go and able to secure one. Yeah, I mean, it's yes, I get that people are bummed out, but it's part of the chance and the luck of the game, I guess. And if I don't know, event like this is just how it's been, and it's how it's going to be for a while. The user base is going to continue to grow, and it's going to continue to be not a slam dunk to get packs. So if you're not willing to deal with the fact that sometimes you might get a pack and sometimes you might not, then I don't know what to tell you. It just is what it is. I've been through pack drops where I've got them. I've been through runs where I haven't got them. Right? Theoretically, for everyone, it should balance out over time. I personally enjoy it one way or the other, whether I get it or not. I think it's exciting to see that we've got 50,000 plus people, hopefully unique people that are in here. And wow, there we go.
So Kevin, congrats on getting your first one.
Congrats, Kevin.
And so that's helpful.
An idea.
Exactly. So all of us that were 52, 53, 54, that was legitimately the back of the line. I know our NBA analyst Bachman also had, I think, a 52,000. Does seem like there's disproportionately more than people who had more than 50,000, but I'm sure that's just a little observation bias.
Man, wow, that's a lot. Man, you were right at the end. That's a shame. All right, so we're looking at like 56,000 people total, which is probably right within the range of what we were expecting. I thought maybe it was going to be more in the 35 to 40 because that's what we've seen in the past. But I could see with this one being a little bit more hyped up with, like you said, people that, either truly or untruly getting their friends, wives, brothers, sisters to join the pack could certainly add to numbers. And now we just wait, I suppose, my friends, and see what happens and see what things are going to look like when the marketplace opens back up. I think that we're going to see the first couple sales of Cool Cats go for some pretty high numbers, if I had to guess. And then I think things will calm down after that. But yeah, that my plan will be with my Cool Cat to just hold on to it and look for deals on the other ones over the course of the next two. I mean, we have 2 weeks. So that's the other thing. There's no rush here, everyone. Everyone that thinks that you need to have 5 of 5 Cool Cats by midnight tonight, that's definitely not the case. There's going to be plenty of time. We've seen plenty of fluctuation in the prices in past challenges, and we'll keep tracking those. We'll be posting our challenge updates in Discord and making sure that we're keeping everybody up to date on what's going on.
Yep. So question here from Harry at Justin Bigger Sweat. Your spot in this pack drop line or underdog 200K best ball championship. I mean, the 200K was nice, but at the end of the day, a Cool Cat moment is going to be worth so much more in 10 years. So it's really difficult. And Alvin Kamara putting up 6 touchdowns on Christmas Day just made it smooth sailing. So obviously it's the here, it's the now, it's the Cool Cats. This is we'll see if it turns into a sweat. Because right now I don't have too high expectations. But when you tell me that there's 1,000 packs left and I'm 1,500 in line, that's when the sweat will happen. I'll be making maybe go get deodorant or something. We're gonna need some real sweat.
It seems to be moving half decent. I went from 12,000 something to 10,800. So it's not crawling per se, but I guess there's a bunch of people behind me. So I could see how it maybe does take close to two and a half hours.
Would you say yours went down 2,000?
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe not even, maybe 1,500.
Okay, so then over 8 minutes. Let's say 2,000 in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're talking, 12,000 in that first hour.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it speeds up. Maybe it'll speed up. It seems like it's going faster now, but maybe that's just my perception of it.
Also, this is interesting. So Zach Turner is telling us that there are 43K packs left. which means 7. But like, let's see.
No. If it starts at 45, that makes sense. Remember 45?
Sorry. Yep. Okay. Yep. That makes sense.
Yep.
That aligns.
Yep. So that aligns to 2000. So it does seem like the process is working, right? We saw someone that was number 700. They got back in line. They went to the end. So we at least have a process here now. And then I think it's just going to be a matter of how they iterate on this over time. I know in office hours, they talked today about how long they want this waiting room to be in the future. So obviously today it was a multiple hour waiting room. In the past, they've used the 15-minute waiting room. The other night, it was a super, super quick one, like less than 5-minute waiting room, I think. So it sounds like that's something that they're going to continue to iterate on. But their first priority is making sure that it's a smooth pack drop, making sure that everything works as expected. And then once we get that part down, then we can work on the speed of it and maybe making that a little bit of a faster experience for the customers.
Right. And I mean, same thing there. Once we get stability, we get these other opportunities. And so here we have a question from Run the Bases, but how long do you guys think it'll take for them to have the $9 common base packs readily available like they were months ago? To be honest, I don't think this is a technology thing. I think this is a supply-demand thing, and I think it's a value thing. Right now, these common packs, when we run the expected value, they're still averaging about $30 or so, $35. And so as long as you have something available in the market that's only costing $9, but gives you a return on investment of 200 to 300%, they're never going to be readily available at that. So what does this mean? It means one of a couple things. Either A, they need to increase the price of these base packs. I don't expect they're going to do that because they want to have a cheap entry point, and I think that's actually the right call. What the other means is that they're going to need to increase the amount of moments from non-superstars, so that eventually there's just the packs turn into the expected values needs to be at that $9, just below, to prevent people from just saying, hey, I'm going to buy a ton. So when we get to a point that your expected value, because of there's just so many of those guys who the moments are only worth $1, $2, that eventually that EV is expected value is $8. That's when I think we can expect to see them more readily available. And the truth is, it may not be in Series 2. It may not be until we get to Series 3 where people start devaluing Series 3 and they kind of maybe change their minting and then deployment strategy by focusing more on some just cheaper S3 kind of throwaways. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Yeah, the bottom line is that you're not going to be able to turn just a $9 pack into an automatic $40, $50 for free. Like I think in the future state, right, the packs are meant to be kind of like the gamble of, okay, I'm spending $9. Most likely I'm going to get $3, $4, $5 worth of value, but I'm entering the pack or buying a common pack for that chance that I get the LeBron or the LaMelo or whatever may be in there.
Right. And what you're saying right there, the expected value can still be $8, even though majority of the time you're only going to end up with $3, $4, $5, as you're saying, because it's a mean median situation where, yes, that you may only get, if you get 10 packs and you only get the $4 or $5 for 9 of them, but then your one pack you end up getting a LeBron or LaMelo who's worth, don't even use LaMelo, use just someone like a Kira Lewis or whatever who's going for about 100. Okay, well now your expected value has shot up, even though 90% of your packs were significant losses. So. Yep.
And no, I agree with Joey. People are still going to open them. I mean, it's people will still open them, and that's the whole point. But yeah, right now it's just a simple supply demand type of thing. But you can see that it's getting better, and I do think, and I think I've said this before, but Top Shot will get into a bit more of a routine where we'll have a weekly pack drop, and we'll have the challenges, and we'll get a bit into the flow of things, and we're getting closer and closer to that, I would say. And I don't know if this part of the Cool Cats continues to go well, I would honestly consider this to overall be a successful pack drop in my book, despite the hiccups from earlier. I think that a successful pack drop is, in my mind, is that packs were distributed to 45,000 different accounts, and that's that. To me, that's the win. Nobody's able to get multiple. Nobody's able to jump the line, any of that kinds of things. And it does seem like all of those things are happening here. I currently have 9,229 ahead of me. So we're moving along. But yeah, it's definitely a slow process, and it is going to take a while for 45,000 to get distributed. All right.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And just going through, there was one other thing I was going to reference, but yeah, just to close that, run the bases. Agreed. $9 comebacks used to sit there, but also $3 Vince Carter's that were now going for 600 used to be going for $2-3 and just sitting there as well. So once the actual value of the marketplace and the moment and the increased demand kind of all kicked up, then those $9 like that hasn't changed, that hasn't adjusted to everything else. So that's why.
Yes, sir. All righty. Any other questions in the chat here? If you guys have any questions for us, feel free to fire them our way. We're just kind of sweating our packs right now, talking about any topics as they come to you. As we've said, we have a show with Jack Settleman tomorrow night, so we're going to save some of the more organized items that we have planned for that. Justin, why don't you talk a little bit about the contest that we are running in case anyone that's listening is not familiar, because this is a good one, and yeah, got to make sure everyone's getting involved there.
All right, so we teased it last night on the Discord closed stream. Tonight, this morning, we posted the actual tweet. But the general idea is we want to give you all the opportunity to shill your bags, pump those bags by giving us the most undervalued moment in your mind in the marketplace. So, I think it's just, hey, retweet the tweet and respond to that tweet in one tweet form that just says, hey, why you think whatever moment it is the most underrated moment on the marketplace. TJ and I tomorrow are going to go through them. We're going to pick out some of the best. We're going to pick out some of the ones that we think will lead to some of the best, most interesting conversation. And we will then bring those up with Jack, get his take, and maybe just have a little debate or two. And at the end, we'll probably settle on, starting from you all, and then us agreeing what we feel is the most undervalued moment in the marketplace. So that's a fun one. I think it's just a great way to, I've started reading through them too, and it's a great way for people to kind of get new perspectives on moments that they otherwise wouldn't have had. Like, hey, I didn't know that this moment was going to get this badge, or, oh, I didn't think about this. Or, I didn't realize that this had this implication because it was his highest scoring game, or whatever the kind of thing is. It's a great way, just reading through those replies, to educate yourself on a variety of moments. And I'd be curious, maybe we'll have our data analysts in the back end do a tracking of those specific moments that are included and how they may have changed just from being in that thread, from other people being like, I like that, I'm going to go buy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I went ahead and pinned that tweet to our profile because it was getting a little far down the page. So go ahead, check us out at Own the Moment NFT on Twitter. You can find that contest there. Hit the retweet button. Leave your favorite moment that's underowned or undervalued, in the chat. I saw, is Evan in the chat? I saw Evan wrote like a 6-tweet sell piece on, who was it on Derrick Rose. That was great. It was pretty good. That's definitely going to be in consideration for me as I'm reading through. I just appreciated the effort of going above and beyond, and then saying that 280 characters is not enough to describe how undervalued this moment is. So we're having a good time with that. We're going to have a good time with Jack tomorrow night. Also, any questions that you guys have for Jack or anything you want to learn about him. I personally do not know a ton. I know that he's the founder of Snapback Sports and that he's super big into Top Shots and is Snapchat famous. So I'm looking to get to know the young lad, the new kid on the blockchain, as we're calling him, and leading this younger generation, hopefully to join some of us older folk in the Top Shot streets in the near future.
I like it. All right, so a few more questions that I see going. So we have a couple questions. What do you expect the rare packs to be? We still have, were you surprised that they kept these prices? These at $14. We talked about the $9 earlier. I think in a general sense, they have made a commitment to say, hey, we want there to be affordable entry points to the market through packs for everyone. And so it makes sense that they're going to continue to keep that $9. And so that's why I don't expect that it's going to, I don't believe that they're going to get those readily available by increasing the prices of that, increasing the price of these cool cats or so forth. I think they're trying to use other ways to kind of find a bit more balance in the market. And I mean, when we saw with the Hollow and that price point of $999, that was obviously almost 4x as much as what they were charging for those same legendary ones, 2-3 months ago. And I still feel like, those were still a bargain. I think we calculated that EV to be something around like, hey, you buy the 1,000 and the EV was something around like 3,000 change. And then after seeing, Arnie's literally dragging a 30-pound backpack across the floor right now. It's okay.
Is it a Cool Cats pack that he's dragging? Dragging a Cool Cats pack across the floor.
There you go. No, I just have a heavy backpack that is. I just see it kind of moving. No worries.
Shout out to Arnie and shout out to my dog that I do not have. This has become a popular topic. I've gotten this question a couple times.
Let's get Arnie on this stream real quick.
In the Discord now. When is TJ getting a dog? Maybe that's the next promotion that are going to happen.
Apparently, Arnie just had a little accident that my amazing wife was cleaning up. So there we go.
There's Arnie for the people. Shout out to all the pets of the OTM community. Was checking out all the pics earlier today. They all look great. Everyone's dogs are loving it. Hopefully everyone's dogs do not have a Top Shot account. That would be against the rules. So that's true. No packs for Arnie and team.
I realized though, TJ, why I got that 53,000 number. And I really only have myself to blame because I was not prepared with the Cool Cat hat for the Cool Cat Challenge.
I was actually surprised that you didn't bring it out earlier. It definitely would have changed the vibes, and you for sure would have been probably number 400 in line.
That's true. DJ Kitty would have got me probably multiple packs somehow.
All right, I'm down to 6,789. So we're getting there.
We're getting there.
Check. So we're 20. It feels like it's moving a little bit more quicker.
So about 6,020 minutes. More quickly. 6,020 minutes. So we're looking at 18 in an hour. So then you're looking at 51. So now we're pacing towards about 2.5 hours, which doesn't sound too bad. I think it does slow down as we get near the end, though, because they want to make sure they're not admitting people saying you got it and then, processing and so forth. But
yeah. Here's a question from Bill that I feel like we get a lot of these types of questions just in terms of mint numbers. What mint numbers are going to be valuable? It's pretty much widely known at this point that number 1 and the jersey number are deemed to be the most valuable. There's also talk about the last mint number having some value. We've heard other things like the number 8 having value in terms of being a lucky number for Chinese folk. But yeah, we've got some other things here: moment date, birth date, rookie year, etc. And to me, it's all about what the market finds valuable. And part of me also does feel like in the future, it's going to be a bit of a more open communication marketplace where if you purchase, again, this is not my personal strategy, but if you're into this numerology sort of thing, I could see it where in the future you buy a certain mint number for a certain reason, and instead of just having to post it for sale with no comment, you're somehow able to almost sell it of like, hey, this moment is valuable because, this serial number is representative of this person's birthday, right? Right now, there's no way of communicating that on the Top Shot website, but I could see in the future down the line that becoming a thing. So I'm personally not targeting these much, but I know there are some people that are super, super into it. And there's a chance that I'm underplaying and underselling that part of it. I don't know where you stand on this question, Justin.
Yeah, I think it comes down to is, can you find someone who is willing to, who has an interest in that unique number? And then what premium are they willing to pay for it? And for me personally, I think that, yes, there are opportunities like that, but I don't want those illiquid items in my portfolio that often, because I'm, if I'm going long-term, I'm going long-term, and I'm just saying like, hey, I like this moment for whatever reason. When I'm ready to sell, I want to be able to sell it, without having to then have it at a premium and hope that not only does someone want this moment, but they also are willing to pay that extra for this number, etc. So I mean, hey, if it's something that interests you, if you're able to actually build a set around it, that's fantastic. If it's something that you're only buying because you think that someone else is going to value it more in the future, that's where I'd probably be a bit more hesitant. But I think overall, we know that there's a lot of interesting ones, such as that 8 with a lucky and some cultures. But overall, I'm still just going for usually the cheapest one available, unless I can get something that seems like it has additional value for a slight premium.
Yeah, and then a similar question from Kevin here, but not quite as specific. How do we value single, double, and triple digit serial numbers? Because I think that's a natural way to view the tiers as you're searching through listings, right? You have number 10 and below, you have number 100 and below, 1,000 and below, etc. I think, to me, the serial numbers seem to have the most impact if you're dealing with like a rare series where there's fewer available because they stand out more. I feel like when you open up some of these common moments with 15,000 different moments, it's hard to stand out. So for those, I definitely tend to just take a strategy of going for the lowest ask, or at least going for something close to the lowest ask. But when I'm looking in the rare ones, that's when maybe I'll pay a little bit more of a premium to get, a number 87 over a number, 500 for example.
I'm putting this out to Neil. I'm putting it out to Goran, two of our guys at OTM. We need to do an analysis of this. This is probably the number one, top requested, top question item. It's something we can definitely do. We've just got to get polls to see how do the moments and various tiers sell, like what price compared to at that same time, what is the lowest available price selling at? And we should be able to see across a large enough sample size, this tier is getting a 1.9 or 3.0 premium and kind of base that down. So Kenny Guevara, if that's something that you are working on and you want to share that, I would love to see it. And hey, send me a DM. We can chat. If I feel like it's legitimate enough analysis, I'm more than happy if you want to bring it to the larger community too. We are open information here, but I think it is definitely possible to do the analysis. Just needs to get done.
Yeah, agreed. It's a common question that we get, and right now we're just kind of basing it on our gut feels more so than any statistical analysis. So we can run the numbers on that, although it's a little bit more of a complex calculation than some of the other things that we end up doing here. Let's see. So I'm down to number 4,324. We're getting there. We can definitely open this pack up on the stream for sure.
Yeah. I don't think marketplace is still down, but should be able to at least get it and open it. Yeah.
So what do we think? Do we think so? With the Cool Cats 1, we saw Devin Booker pretty consistently priced higher than the other 4 Cool Cats. In this set, we've got PJ Washington, DeMarcus Cousins, John Wall, Tyler Hero, and Julius Randle. Do we see any of them standing out above the other? I know that Tyler Hero is often seemingly somewhat overvalued, or maybe not over, but highly valued by the NBA Top Shot, just due to the fact that he's the sponsor. And also, my gut would be that maybe Tyler Hero is the most expensive of these. I expect them to all be relatively in that same range, though. You have any thoughts there, Justin? Like, should I be rooting for one of these as I'm opening a pack, or does it just not matter?
Yeah, I agree that Hero will be the most. And that's just because of the marketing arrangement there. I will guess that Cousins will be the least. And then I think the other 3 are going to be pretty close in the middle. Maybe you see Wall a little higher or something, because while it's actually, I haven't seen like what that moment is, because I assume it's not the same as his first moment from earlier, so it won't get that first moment badge, but he didn't have any last year either, so maybe that adds a little value. But overall, I think Hero at the top, Cousins at the bottom, and the other 3 kind of smushed together.
We're on the basis says that the John Wall play is the actual best play, if that matters. I mean, I always like a cool play. Right. I'm not going to lie.
And shout out to John Wall for, I think, making his return from injury tonight, or last night tonight. So that was good to see from a health-wise, and interesting to see how his moments kind of react going forward.
Yeah. Yep. All righty. 3,684. Getting close here. Anyone in the chat that's been able to secure a pack yet? I don't know that I've seen many other than the person that we saw early on. Seems like people are trickling their way down the line. We've got a couple people with some close calls where it seems like they're going to be right on the edge of getting a pack or not. Will be interesting to see how this plays out the rest of the way. Trying to think if I've got anything else off the top of my head here. Justin,
let's go rookies. I know we talked a little about the rookies, and I think we had some data. We shared this with the Discord, I think yesterday or maybe this morning. But I think that's some really good, interesting charts there. The chart and the Excel that we pulled up.
Yeah, I've got
because rookies have been top of mind and skyrocketing.
No doubt. Yeah, I can pull up a view here of the rookies, and then we can kick it over to you after that to share what you've got too.
Yeah, that works. Yep.
So, all right. So here's some views that we've been pulling together and sharing within the Discord, and we'll continue to do so. But this is how the series 2 rookies have trended over the past day or so, and you can see the pretty significant and quick spike that happened over the course of yesterday. Met with a sharp decline, and then they've been relatively flat ever since, maybe trending down slightly. A lot of this is definitely driven by LaMelo. I will also say that the Wiseman data in this is messed up because we do it based on the lowest ask, and Wiseman is just stuck on 380 for some reason. So Wiseman's not included in this. I think that he's been rising as well. And yeah, the reason that we believe that this spike started was from the NBA Top Shot blog post that had happened actually, 2 weeks ago for the first time. They posted about the rookie badges that are going to be upcoming. Then that was reposted, and it seemed like that was the first time that a lot of people had seen that information, and that was what started this surge. And then the surge just kind of happened over the course of a 2.5 day period. Then we saw that pullback because things just seemed to be a little bit oversold, a little bit overhyped. One of the key things to definitely think about with the rookies is the fact that right now they only have the one moment. So if you want to get a LaMelo, if you want to get an Anthony Edwards, if you want to get, Cole Anthony, there's only one option right now. But in the future, there's going to be more options, not just for this season, but for the rest of their careers. So yes, this rookie moment that they have will always have some unique value and stand out above the rest. However, I think they are definitely getting a bit inflated just because of the fact that there's only one moment for each of them. That said, I still have a large section of my portfolio dedicated to the Series 2 rookies, and I sold a couple off, but I'm still holding a pretty big position there and planning to.
Right. And I mean, I think this rise right here in the middle was quite steep, and as expected, we did see a bit of a correction. I know we sold a couple of our like LaMelos that we just felt were just way high up there when we got up to about 1,000, and invested that elsewhere. But yeah, I'm still very bullish on the S2 rookies, and I think what's unique about these S2 rookies is the majority of them, obviously they're getting the first moment, but majority of them are also their NBA debut. And so we compare that to Series 1, only RJ Barrett had his NBA debut for his first moment. So we see more of that Series 2. I think people are going to value that going forward. So that does give you a little uniqueness, even if there are more rookie moments of these players released this series. But I agree, there is still, I don't think it's truly baked in that we're going to have more moments of the rookie year. Couple of the questions that we're getting here. So first off, where are we getting this data? So we're actually pulling these all directly from the blockchain. That's one of the great things about the blockchain is all of this is completely open as long as you have, a smart enough data engineer to pull it for you. And that's what we are fortunate to be able to have. But end of the day, the Flow blockchain makes all this easily available. There are other ways to kind of mock it up or do it by hand by using some of the available sites out there. But also, we're going to continue to run these kind of analysis. If people have interesting requests that they think are, this would be a good data pull, feel free, shoot us a DM, put it in the Discord, and definitely continue to make some interesting charts like this. Going forward for these, I've got a ton of rookies, because when we go back to what feels like a decade ago, what was about 2-3 weeks ago, and we were talking about investment thesis, it was all around Series 1 and Series 2 rookies. And I think the final, that major incline right there was just a reaffirmation, or maybe is the affirmation of our initial hypothesis of, hey, rookies are what's going to really be important. And we want, TJ, I'll share my screen now.
Yep. 1,200 people left.
All right, you're getting close. Get that sweat.
Getting close.
I'm not even looking at mine. I'm sure I'm still like 40-some thousand. Okay, so what we have here are the data for S2 comments, and the blue highlighting are all the rookies. So I think out of these 21 moments, all but 6 are rookies. That's 15 out of the 21, and these are sorted by low price. Obviously, these prices are as of yesterday, I believe, and then you still have like a couple outliers, like the Wiseman still at 380. But I think it's still a good way just to show, like, hey, how valued are all of these rookies and such. 15 of the top 21 moments is pretty impressive. We can also take a look, and we'll sort by the actual current market cap. Because there are only 4,000 of the rookies, this allows things like a 15,000 CC LeBron or 700 KD to really move up here. And now your rookies from a market cap are a bit more spread out. So I still want to use this too to kind of test it, but you still see out of that top 20, you've got, looks like about 11 of them are rookies, even by market cap, with managed only 4,000 LE of those rookies. So these are the kind of things that I look at to figure out where I see potential value, where I see potential overvaluing of players. And this is the kind of analysis that, we can continue to walk through, but we actually also, I don't have it right here because it's still in progress, but column B is our player evaluator, where we are actually using, coming up with a formula to actually evaluate the player based off their Hall of Fame likelihood, based off their current ability, based off their upside, based off their off-court celebrity aspect, and using that to then say, okay, when I'm going through these various moments, how do I compare the different players? What is their actual, intrinsic value as a player to help me make a decision on where I kind of want to make my purchases?
Yeah, great analysis there. Great use of the spreadsheet. I think it makes it pretty easy to identify where there may be some opportunities. Going through in the marketplace can be a bit overwhelming. I did see one request to see the Series 1 rookies chart as well. So this is what we have there. So you can see that they've also had quite a jump over the past day or two and have kind of leveled off, but still see a bit of that upward trajectory. And this includes all of them, I think.
Yeah, and I will say, though, that is heavily influenced by about 3 guys. So your jump here is predominantly Zion and RJ. So if you look at the other rookies, that's where I was finding value the past couple of days, is as everyone was kind of just, my thought is, hey, everyone's extremely interested in the S2. That's where all the focus is. That's what the talk is around rookies. I think what comes next is people start getting focused on the S1. So I was going through and seeing, like, obviously those top 3 guys are very well known, are very, high priced. But I thought there was value when I started actually diving deeper into the kind of lower rookies.
Uh-oh, I just heard a noise.
You got it?
I just heard a noise. Hold on, I got to pull up my screens.
Give you a little juice. So I am still at 40,518. And then there's a blue message that says there's about 34 K packs remaining. So I'm 6K behind, and I started off about 7.5K behind. So if we extrapolate that, it looks like I'll miss it by about 2,000 to 3,000. But who knows? We'll see. I'm staying in the queue.
Yep, stay in the queue. You never know what's going to happen. But all right, so I was number 12,000 something. It took 40 minutes to get through 12,000. So yeah, it's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long night for anyone that is sitting waiting for their packs to come. I am trying to snag a reservation as we speak, so I'll keep everyone posted on how that process goes. And we got producer Coop right behind me as well.
Producer Coop in line. How many more do you got, Producer Coop? You can just give me some fingers and I'll make it up and have a guess. Oh,
14,
one.
4.
1 4 1 4 6 1 4 6 7. Okay, so it's around 1,500.
Yeah, he's got around 1,500 left. I'm in the process of purchasing mine as we speak. And then, yeah, I mean, we'll probably just open up a pack here and then call it, Justin. I feel like we've touched on the majority of the topics. It's been a little bit over an hour here. We appreciate everyone spending their Monday evening with us. As we've said before, our plan is to try and do these for any of the pack drops whenever we can. Earlier today, that was not going to be feasible for us in the middle of the workday. Also figured that a lot of people would not have been able to sit around and watch our live stream. But anytime that we're available and then we have a nighttime pack drop or a weekend pack drop, we think that this is a fun thing to do, get some engagement going, hear what you guys are pulling in terms of the numbers in line, seeing what people are able to pull out of their packs. And I do have a pack here.
Yeah, nice.
I do have a pack here.
I'm going to run through a couple of questions as we were talking through. So first off, Ryan Greenrow here. Do we think they'll ever have an actual mobile app? And yes, they have actually discussed this as being in development. I believe it's going to be predominantly there's going to be two. First one's going to be a marketplace app. So similar to on browser, you're able to actually go in and buy, sell, whatever. And I think they're going to expand this marketplace to be more than just what it is listings. There's talk about eventually having a bid system. So now it's right now just a one-way market of sellers can post and then buyers, the only way they can impact the price is whether or not they buy. I think in the future, it's going to run a bit more like a stock market where it's like, hey, not only are they going to have sellers posting what they want to sell for, but buyers can say, hey, I want that and I'm willing to pay this. And now you're actually going to see what that gap is, what that delta is. And I think it'll be a more informed marketplace, which I'm excited for there. There was something else. Let's see.
You would like this one. If Justin doesn't get one, everyone gift him a moment as the OTM community.
No. I do not need any moments. I appreciate it. Instead, do TJ Schilling. Go subscribe. Go like. Do whatever.
Yes. The best way you can help us out is by doing all of that stuff. I do feel like the majority of the people that are with us right now have already hit the subscribe, though. So we do appreciate that all of you have done that. I've seen actually a couple questions about the MGLE Series 2 in this chat. So I'm going to pull up Brian's here because I actually currently have, I think, 5 or 6 of these MGLE Series 2s from the Legendary pack drop. I think that it's pretty fair to assume that once the final Series 1 Metallic challenge is over, that they will move to a Series 2. Maybe not necessarily right away, but I do think that at some point we will definitely get some Series 2 challenges. I know that you're super high on the Metallic Gold Series 1s. What do you think about the Series 2s? Do you think that it's a good short-term play ahead of the challenges? Do you think that they have long-term value? Do you think that you're just staying away from them completely? What are your thoughts on Metallic Gold Series 2?
Yeah, I don't think that I don't think they have the upside of buying them early in advance of a challenge that we saw with the Series 1s earlier on. I think to some level that pricing is already a bit baked in. And I think we'll see what the challenges actually are. So what we're starting to see with the last 2 of the MGLE challenges are if the player is not a high demand player, then there's very little, if any, actual increase in price near the end or throughout that challenge. So, for example, Nurkic was the last one, and I think prices were only maybe 20% more than 10 to 20% more than what they were post challenge, because people just didn't make it a priority to get him. For these MGLEs, I think it comes down to whether or not the rewards are going to be, you're like we saw with the Steph or any of the high value players. To be honest, it's not something I've significantly looked into, just because I'll say it's probably something that I should look more into from a short-term strategy. It is not something I've looked that much into because I've kind of just faded away from most of the S2 non-rookies, just because I think that, it's not the place that I want to be in from a long-term standpoint. That said, I think there may, I'll look into it and see whether or not I believe if we can get a better sense of who the challenge rewards are going to be, because we can look at the blockchain to actually figure that out, and then get an idea from prices of whether or not I think there's an opportunity to make a short or midterm play. But good thinking at least.
So Panther said this, I cannot personally validate whether or not, but he's saying that he or she is saying that the prizes are Kawhi, Terry, Jamal Murray, Booker, Wood. The Kawhi is
good.
Definitely nice, but the rest are Booker's good.
Booker's good, but the others, it's not Wood's rookie. Big fan of Wood, but yeah.
But then he's also saying that there's Zion and Steph moments that are not yet released. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Yeah, so I think we got to wait and see.
Right. But the question is, have they been minted? Because if we can see that they've been minted, then we would know, we know how many there's going to be, and there's not going to be prizes. If we see that they are to be minted, but we don't know the actual amount, then we know that they are prizes. That's how we kind of distinguish between those.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Top Shot Explorer right now. I see the Kawhi Leonard and the Christian Wood that are open. I see the Booker, Jamal Murray, Terry Rozier. Yeah, so we've got all of those. Yeah, it really depends. I mean, if we knew that it was going to be like a LeBron reward, then sure, that changes. That changes everything, but it does not seem to be the case. We'll do a little bit more thinking, a little bit more strategy talk around the Metallic Gold Series too at some point. Although, man, there's just so much going on. It's hard to focus on what's hot. I think that for the next couple of days, it's going to be all about the cool cats. But then it's a 2-week challenge, so that's going to kind of fade into the background a bit, and I'm sure something else will sweep the Top Shot world by storm later this week. And I'm really curious to see if and when they have their next or first rare pack drop that we've seen, and what that price point comes into and all that. I think before then is definitely where we'd want to make sure that we have a good understanding of those Metallic Gold Series 2s, because that's going to be a big part of that pack drop.
Right. I think this is another idea for another analysis that'll be pretty valuable. I would say before I make a purchase of S1s, I definitely take a look at what their ratio is between the base and the MGLE S1s. And sometimes you see that's usually between like a 7 to 10x. Would be probably interested to see kind of what that averages out to, and then use that as a way to say, hey, if you are bullish on this player, does it make more sense to take the common versus the MGLE? I want to make sure it's clear. I think it's worth noting that if you are planning on it being a long-term play, I usually probably would say it's better to go for the MGLE, because you're investing more in that player, which means your raw return on it at the end of the day is going to be increased as well. And because they're S1, if you're bullish on that player, when people want those moments in the long term, there's just not going to be as much, and so they're hold a higher value. However, if your play is maybe a bit more short-term, medium-term, then those base cards are a lot more liquid and easier to kind of flip and get out of without having to sacrifice any of your price. What is an MGLE? So Metallic Gold Limited Edition, I think that's what it stands for.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, that is the top rare series. And so this is going to likely continue throughout the future series. And so a lot of the top collectors believe that, if you look at the preview, if you try to rank like what the actual best sets are, Cosmic for Series 1 is clearly above and beyond the rest. Hollow is kind of the number 2. You then have a bit more just, hey, there's a bunch of ones that are maybe legendary, but they're one-off. They're the finals, Western Conference, run it back, and so forth. But like when you get to that next tier of rare, most believe that the MGLE is kind of the next, like, hey, this is the set to own from a collector standpoint. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to always be more valuable than some of those, than most of those other legendaries, such like a Run It Back or So Fresh and so forth. But from a just, hey, collector standpoint, long term, because we think they're going to continue to have MGLE long into the future, and there's a repetition to it, it has increased value.
Love it. Love it. Thanks everyone for joining. We've still got 208 people watching us right now. We very much appreciate that. Go ahead, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're also available across all of the podcast stores. You can subscribe to us there as well. Leave us a nice 5-star review if you enjoy the show. It helps us out a ton as we explore this new world of Top Shot with all of you guys.
Yep. I do have one point that I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
I don't think most people know this, and it kind of frustrates some, is I've seen a lot of people who are like, I really wish I had the opportunity to get a rare or a legendary in my common pack. Like, even if, in a 10,000 set release, there's just like one legendary or 10 rares or something like that. I wish I at least had that opportunity, because people want to have like a low entry access point, so it's not just the rich getting richer. The team has expressed that would be fantastic, but the problem is that legally they are not allowed to do that. Once you start giving away better prizes, things that have the lower mint, it gets really, really tricky into a lottery style system, and then they'd have to potentially qualify for a gambling license. And that's not a place that they want, and that's not a place we want them to be in, because if they have to pay for all the additional regulations and so forth, that's just those costs are going to get passed down to us. So what they are able to do is, in a common pack, you can get commons. Yes, you might get a LeBron, but that's actually the marketplace deciding that LeBron is better. It's not like them deciding what is better due to scarcity or some unique aspect. So yes, it would be nice, but for people to just help them understand why there's not ever going to be a legendary or a rare in a common pack. That's the reason. Yes, loot box laws prohibit that. That was obviously a big thing in the gaming industry over the past few years.
That's a good explanation. I think there's probably a lot of people that are not super familiar with all those rules and how all of that works. All righty. What are we thinking here? Any more questions in the chat that you're seeing? I mean, I'm down for whatever. We could go ahead and open the pack. We could continue to hang out here as people get more packs. I have a wide open schedule tonight, so
let's open your pack because we can get that excitement. Then I think Coop hopefully isn't too far behind.
Oh yeah,
we can get that.
Coop's locked in too, so we can get him to rip too. All right, yeah, let's go for the double.
And then
double Cool Cats ripper.
If a couple extra, we get some more questions or whatever afterwards, we can hang out a little after. But I'm ready for a little excitement in my life.
All right, we are going to the Chrome tab. We are hitting the share audio button so that everybody can hear the music. And here we are, guys. We have the Cool Cats 2 Drop 2 pack, and we're going to go ahead and open this.
It's kind of interesting. Like, we're more psyched for what that commons are actually going to be, because I think in this pack, like, the Cool Cats are all fairly similar. Like,
agree.
Maybe you want that hero, but like overall, like,
no matter what Cool Cat you get, you're obviously happy because you're getting a pretty solid value there. But the big differentiator could be pulling something sweet from one of the commons.
Yeah, and so I did do the EV for this one. Let's see. So LeBron. So of the highest priced guys, LeBron is where there looks like 3,200, a little under 3,300 available. Same with Luka, Zion, KD, and Steph. So obviously it'd be nice to get a rookie, but there are just not many rookies, only about 110 per, this.
I'm with the dream. LaMelo. I'll take a LaMelo one time. There's like not many of them at all, right?
Hey, if you're going to call for it, you got to get it.
Didn't I already hit open pack?
I thought you did.
Yeah.
I thought I was
I did.
waiting for some music.
Hmm.
All right. What are people getting their
Hold
packs
your horses.
already? Yeah. So Rob got a pack. Congrats on that, Bob. Rob. All right. Nick Bird got a common LeBron. Love
Here
that.
we go. Alrighty, that's pretty loud. Let's do this. Joker. We love the Joker. No doubt about that. Not a great mint, but hey. I'll take some Jokic
Love
in the
that.
portfolio. Nice dunk there. Throw number 2. D'Angelo Russell jumper. Crossover jumper, boom. 8,458 minutes. Cool Cash music is definitely nice. I'll give him that for sure. All right, not a bad start with Jokic and D'Angelo Russell. We got 3 more left here. Let's see what we got. Another comment. All right. John Wall.
And
LE.
he had a big game tonight, or at least a big first half. We were hearing from the chat. 22.
That's a pretty solid one. I'm happy with this so far. Oh, that was my cool cat. I didn't realize that was my cool cat. That's it. All right, I'll take the John Wall cool cat.
Go, let's finish strong.
Giannis.
Yes. Woo.
All right, Giannis. Oh, look at that throwdown. That's actually a sick dunk. Yeah. That's a pretty good moment right there. Some big names. Some big names in this pack.
Yeah. Oh, and a KD.
Now we got the ring.
God, TJ runs so good.
Definitely some big names.
Get the hollow pack. Get the cool cat early. Get all the good players. How do you do it? Teach the people in the chat page.
Those are a lot of good players.
Run
I mean, look at that.
So good.
If you go just on like quality of basketball player, that'd be a great starting 5 right there. That would be unbelievable.
Let's go back. Let's think about what the starting 5 would look like. We got 2 point guards. We got a decent 4. You got Giannis that can play a bit of a 4-5 there.
Yeah. You'd have Jokic at center. God. 2 guards.
Giannis
power forwards. Oh man,
stretch.
that'd be a nice start.
It's a solid team. Let me just get rid of D'Lo and I'll just play 4 on whoever. And I think you might have advantage.
That's all right. That's good.
That's good. Well done there. All
right, producer Coop.
Cool cat, that is bringing you some money.
Tough act to follow, producer Coop. You want to hop on the stream with us there, and let's get your pack open. Hey everyone, say hi to producer Coop.
What is going on, everyone? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
We need like producer Coop hype music. We need like a 30-second producer Coop hype music video that we play for the 30 seconds before you come onto the screen.
And we need it to run on loop after like 24 seconds, but that was like a choppy ending.
Wow, getting chirped early. I was in the Discord giving some comments back to those who were chirping me. I love the feedback though. Keep it coming. The next Pack Sweats Live will certainly have a very fire intro.
People love you, dude. Look at this. Choppy. Everyone's
I can't wait till Coop is just walking down the street one day and somebody just yells, "Producer Coop!"
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I have the producer headphones on today, and I think I just lost my eardrum when TJ's music started.
That was
playing.
Really loud.
That was super loud. Yeah, that was not the greatest, but very good pack for Mr. Lasig, who, after complaining for the first 4 to 5 episodes of the show, has run absolutely scorching hot. So
you gotta earn it. You gotta
really love to see the tilt turn into some successful profit. Let me share my screen here.
All right, and then real quick, so in the chat, we've had a couple people from the Discord. Let me just give clarification there. So I can at least share the link for the waitlist. We are currently having a waitlist for the Discord because we want to make sure that we're starting and doing it right. We're really focusing on that there's value for everyone that's involved, and we're not just overloading it. And we understand that, Might be a little annoying that you're not going to get in, at least early on, but we want to make sure that we're really taking care of people that are in it, breeding a strong, good, and rich community. And then as we feel comfortable kind of continue to grow, we'll take people off the wait list. Hopefully it won't be too long. So I dropped the link in the Discord. I dropped the Discord link in the chat. Feel free, please sign up. And then hopefully, as we're comfortable with the quality within the Discord, we'll kind of then continue to let people kind of trickle in.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, sign up for that list. We've had we just started it yesterday, so it's about 24 hours old at this point. I've had some good discussions going on there. I would say pretty frequently throughout the day. We're also going to try to provide some of the views that you've seen on the stream today more frequently for those that join the Discord. So you'll get access to a little bit more information, a little bit more frequent information than what we're posting on our Twitter. So definitely go ahead and join that list.
And that pet channel is fire.
Yes, and we've got a beautiful selection of pets. I was actually just looking at them. It
was very calming. During all the stress of the delays and the pack delay and the pack drops, and
it's definitely the most valuable thread in the Discord without a doubt. All right, Coop.
We got David in the chat saying who's the highest cool cat. I'm definitely looking forward to trying to get the hero.
Yeah.
I think he's probably the best. So definitely looking forward to that.
Let's get some hero.
Let's do it.
One other, before I share, also one other comment, TJ, I don't know if you jump back in line, but for the chat, I know in some of the earlier drops, especially, there were a variety of people able to get multiple packs. I did jump back in line. It looked like it put me all the way at the back end of the line at 56,000. So just for those that are still sort of waiting, we don't know. Well, I'm sure we'll get more info from the Top Shot team, but essentially seems like you're going to the back of the line as our people.
Yeah, I just jumped back in and I'm at 55,000.
So
did you add this 29K pack drop thing? That's cool.
Yeah, about 29 packs left. So we'll keep updating it as we're here. So let me share my screen here.
Yeah. Look at that. We got some Kira Lewis, my man. We got what else we got? We pulled the hero. Don't worry about the serial number because just having it for the cool cats is helpful. Level bevel, you're getting close. I love it. Coop, take us home. Let's go.
Struggling over there.
Here, Coop. There's a box, and you gotta click on the
trying to get the right tab. I had about 45 tabs open.
I know it is confusing.
Trying to get the right tab.
Your most recent one should be at the top. Yeah. I think that's.
And
how
I'm kidding because Coop's the one
who
teaches us all about this.
There we go.
Purely.
There it is.
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Yeah, watch out for your ears. There you go, Ken Stockdog.
It's like episode 2 of the podcast.
Shout out if that person's listening right now that gave us the 4-star review. Loved hearing that.
They changed it to a 5-star later, though. They forgave you.
Yeah, we're hoping
production value is continuing to go
coming
up and will continue to go up. So
yeah, hey, Coop, can you try Control Shift minus if you've got not Mac? Control Shift minus. Does it zoom? There we go.
There we go.
All right. Good call. Oh yeah, it was Neil who said that. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
We're going middle here. Top middle. Common 1216. Willie Barton.
That's actually good. That's part of the challenge.
We like that.
Must not be though, right?
Why not?
Oh, because it's 12.15. Yeah, wow, that's a great one.
Really good. Common 769. Oh, Boogie. This is the cool cat. Sweet dunk. John Collins. Really looking for the LeBron here.
Love anything. Love
1011. Murray, also part of the challenge. I believe.
Also part of.
You're just completing the challenge, or you're
wow, yeah, you're completing the challenge. Right.
Let's
from
go.
our eyes. Love that.
One, 2, 5, 6.
Zion, I'll take that. It's my first,
There you go.
my first Zion.
Big man, go hard.
All right.
So not too bad.
Not
there.
too bad.
I think
definitely.
my favorite part about it is you just got 2 of the ones for the common for the that you actually need the challenge. So just from like a pain-free standpoint, boom, good, yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And then Zion's a little cash there if you want to flip her.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'll hold on to Zion. I actually don't have any Zion currently in my portfolio, so he's one I've been trying to figure out what I want to do and how I want to get there. So pumped to open him up for sure. Really good pack.
Yeah. And he's one of the ones that I was talking about where, like, yes, when we see this flood of moments come in the marketplace, people are going to sell off some of those lower ones. But Zion's a player that people may actually flock to and say, hey, even though it's not his rookie, I still want to get some Zion on my portfolio. You ain't buying a S1 Zion for anything cheap. So here's your chance to kind of add to the portfolio.
Yeah, absolutely. He's certainly out of my price range. So it's nice to be able to secure a bit of him via the packs for sure.
Yep.
I also think Zion's interesting just because I think I saw someone in the chat earlier talk about how valuable the guards are, and the big men's not really getting a ton of love. So having Zion, the one of the big guys who is getting some love, is pretty cool to have.
It's interesting. And I think that's something that I was trying to look into from a cardboard market, like an actual cards. Why don't big man just do well in like the card market for NBA? I think it's just like it doesn't have the, sexy factor that you're going to get. You're not going to likely get those 50-point, outlier games from those big men often. Maybe maybe a lot of them don't have as big of a personality as some of the smaller guys. Maybe a Napoleonic thing kind of happening with the shorter ones. Just don't have as much flash. But it is interesting because I have seen that, yes, some of your big men do feel undervalued. Like Jokic always just feels undervalued across the board for what he actually is. But then I do see on the other side, like the Chris Paul, the Russell Westbrook, smaller guys who are a bit more aged in their career, like also are completely undervalued. So I don't think it's a black or white kind of thing here. And I think it'll just be interesting to see how the market continues to factor those in.
Yeah, shout out to Jonathan in the chat who it sounds like got the number 7 LeBron. I cannot put the message up on the screen because I can put this one. He loves his life.
There you go. There was some wording in the other one, but
Exactly. Yeah. Can't put the other one up on the screen, but
congrats on
LeBron number 7. That is pretty much the A+ pull aside from a LaMelo, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get that level of a single-digit mint and LeBron, like that's just that's very
so that kind of thing, right? Is that a long-term hold? Any low mint LeBron, or do you try and? Because I know generally speaking, we're not super high on the Series 2 LeBron with 15,000, but part of me feels like down the line, all single-digit mint LeBrons may hold more value, or you may just want to ditch it. But you can definitely get an above market price for a top 10. I
probably put it. I probably list it, and I list it at a price that is significantly higher than others around it, and just kind of say because once again, there aren't that many people who are willing to pay a premium for number 7. Like I agree, it does warrant a premium, but there's not that many people that are willing to. So for me personally, I probably put that out there at a price that I feel is good enough, and the capital that I get in return, I'll then reinvest that elsewhere. So even if LeBron number 7 is worth 2x in a couple of years, or maybe even 2x in 6 months, a year, I also believe that where I'm going to diversify into those other areas with that capital will also get me that 2+x, and maybe even more if I'm smart about where I'm putting it in. And when I'm ready to liquidate those, I don't have to try to find that one buyer who's willing to pay that premium for number 7. But either way, fantastic.
Makes sense. Yeah, great pull. Very nice. Get that listed, and then maybe get yourself a nice little bankroll to experiment when the marketplace opens back up, which I saw somebody say that it's basically like a 20,000 per hour count here. So we're just over an hour. I guess have we seen 20K packs go? Not even. Yeah,
20K. I think the number right now is about 25K. So
we figure maybe by 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific is when this is kind of wrapped up, and then I would think they get the marketplace back. Oh, could be a late night.
Yeah, I think we saw the other night too. We saw that towards the end things seemed to go a little faster, so maybe it'll pick up a little bit of speed. But I would say that's a good estimation for what we would see.
I also probably should have picked up on this earlier, but apparently we were getting trolled, and he didn't actually pull it, so I put him in timeout and I blocked him for 5 minutes. I didn't know I could do that, but I'm perfectly okay with it.
Oh, that's absurd. How are we supposed to know that he's trolling us? That's not even really funny. Okay. Yeah. Jonathan, you can maybe spend your time doing something different. That's not really even funny. Whatever. It is what it is.
All right. So let's see. I want to hear from the people who were later on, people who were outside of that 45K to begin with. How are you looking? Has it dropped enough that you think you have a chance? For me personally, I'll start off with I have 29,000 and change ahead of me, and it says there are about 25K packs remaining. So now we're looking at somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 ahead of me, and before we were looking at around 8,000 of that gap between 45 and 53. That ratio, if we continue at that pace of dropping, it's gonna be, what's the show called?
Sweat live. That is what we're here. We are here for the sweat. We're here to see who's able to get the pack, who isn't. It's going to be an ongoing part of the fun here. So we got to get used to that. We're not going to get a pack every time, but when we do, it's going to make it that much sweeter.
Yeah. So look, Eric here, that's a good one there because started at 48K, so it was 3K back, now at 25. And according to mine, it says it's about 25K, so I feel good for Eric there.
All right, Eric.
Nate.
Wow, Eric has a true sweat on his hands.
He's on the good side of the line right now because he's already at that. And as long as you continue at that pace, like it's not a guarantee, but I'm feeling good for Eric. Nate, similar to boat as me, we started around that 53. We're at that 29. And my number is 29,282. Yours probably just dropped down to it. So we're right neck and neck there. Fingers crossed for us, Nate. Let's see. We got Jonathan at 35,000. That's not looking great, Jonathan. I don't know if this is your second time in line, if you might have missed it early, but that's a little tough one there. I hope we can all get it. We shall see. But hey, things seem to go. Has anybody been hearing on Twitter, Discord, anything, seeing anything interesting, any noteworthy news? If you have that, let us know. We're happy to kind of share that because we have not been looking at the Twitter or Discord while we've been kind of on stream.
All right. Hopefully this is not a troll this time, but someone's dad pulled a Halliburton. Well done. That's another good one. Now, do I have to be worried now that people are just telling us things that aren't true in the chat? Come on, people.
Oh, this is going to be a good
Give us a break.
This is just going to keep living. There you go. Okay, good to hear, Jonathan. That is your second go.
This is probably happening across the Top Shot industry everywhere. The double sweat of, am I going to get the Cool Cats back, and can I get it before my wife absolutely kills me?
So that's what happened when I had to take my headphones out. She's been graciously taking care of Barney, but apparently he just got a little too much and was just going a little crazy. So she passed him off to me, and he's now sound asleep. And it's really not fair because when he hangs out with me, he just sleeps at my feet. And when he hangs out with her, he is just running around, anxious, wanting to play, nibbling at her.
Justin, I mean, wait till you have the dog, the kid, and the hey, can you produce this video in 2 minutes kind of sweat happening. So,
and then you have people in the chat being like, "Come on, why is that video not smoother?"
Love it, absolutely love it.
There you go.
Good.
Okay,
good
we got
deal.
people from around the world. Hello from Israel.
All right.
Israel with around 60+% people in Israel vaccinated right now. That is an amazing success story for a very different topic, but it's just when I think of Israel right now, I think that's really impressive. Let's see. That's a fun one. Where is everyone from? I know we had some people in Asia that were sweating the 6 a.m., 7 a.m., whatever it was, really early, obviously. So Israel right now, if it's 9 o'clock here, I think Israel's something like a 7 or 8 hour difference. Might even be like 9. So that is middle of the night. Good morning to Ben Ward in Australia. Maybe you and Wades can go hang out. We know TJ and I are going to try to get a visit to Australia to hang out with Wades. Otherwise, Steve has to come to Tampa for a Raptors game. So we're all trying to get the game together. Let's go rapid fire here. I'm seeing them all. We got another Florida, nice level double. We got Houston. Good. Hopefully you're doing okay in Houston with all those storms that are going on in Texas. There you said cold. I have a friend who lost some power there, so that is something we are very aware of, and thoughts go out to them. We've got some more spread out across the U.S., some U.K., some Canada, Netherlands. I love it. It's really cool to see just how global this is. And I think starting with NBA was the best opportunity to get that global start. Because like while NFL may have been more popular in the US, I think just as a US, like it is a more popular sport from numbers wise, none of the major US sports like have the global pull that the NBA does. And I guess you could also say like from a soccer, football standpoint, but those don't carry what you have in the U.S. And there is another site that's kind of similar like that, but for whatever reason hasn't gained. I should just kind of think it through, like what those moments would be like. But yeah, I think they did a great job with starting with the NBA, and obviously NBA is a very progressive, tech-forward kind of league, which you really need to get the Players Association, the leadership, management, and everyone on board.
Yeah, looks like we got a variety of people from all over. People from all over the states. Got a couple Canadians in the group. Seeing some Netherlands.
Hey, Coop, why don't you answer Ken Stock's question? Because you're the one who kind of controls this.
Yes. Can you see the video again later? Yes. All of our live streams are up on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't heard TJ's shill tonight, please go subscribe to the YouTube channel, Own the Moment, and you'll be able to see all of these videos on replay. So we've been trying to keep the live streams, especially the ones where we're sweating the packs, solely on YouTube, but you'll see a good bit of our content in podcast forum as well, with a few disclaimers that obviously if you're listening to audio and we're sharing screen and showing stats, it's a little bit harder to comprehend, but wanted to be able to put our show in your pocket on the go. People drive or listen to podcasts or while they're working, etc. So we are out there on Apple, on Spotify, on most of the podcast networks, alongside the YouTube channel.
Yeah, agreed. And so love this. And I think you touch on two different areas here, but I think in general we can touch on, there are just so many demographics, so many markets that this is not even above the surface. Like no one knows about this. And those opportunities, like we've always joked about that, wait until the barstoolies find out about this. Once you have some of those, because they're already so into the sports aspect, the sports betting aspect, throw in that this just has such a positive kind of engaging experience. There's so many kind of either groups, areas, countries that when this kind of starts pumping, when they actually start doing real marketing and put marketing dollars back into this, there's no question, to the moon.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, I think one of the people that we talked to, Wade's ETH, he was one of the people that participated in the closed beta, and we asked him on our show when he thought we would see the first Top Shot commercial during an NBA game, and his guess, purely a guess from his perspective, was during the NBA playoffs. So I'm pumped to see when that happens. And Waves was a fantastic listen. So if you haven't heard that episode, good, head over there to check that out. And then one other comment I wanted to bring up, I saw someone else in the chat earlier talk about FIFA and the FIFA Ultimate Team and the relation there. I think if you guys, I'm really pumped to have Jack on tomorrow. If you guys follow Jack on Twitter, you saw him tweet some stuff the other day about how much is spent on FIFA Ultimate Team. And it's about $1 billion in each of the video game seasons. So I think last year for the FIFA 2020, about $1.5 billion was spent on Ultimate Team, and in 2021, all those dollars are essentially to the complete floor at zero, worthless of $0.
Yeah.
So I think just so many statistics and so many comparisons that you can make with Top Shot, but yeah, really pumped to see where this thing goes in the next month, 6 months, and a couple of years after that.
Yeah, it's just such a cool intersection of sports and, like, I don't know, people that are into the stock market or people that are into video games. Like, it just kind of combines all of these different things. And I really think that once you get involved, once you get your first pack, once you get into the marketplace, it can really hook people. And I think that there's tons of people out there that have never even heard of this, that once they do and once they give it a shot, they're going to fall in love with it, just like all of us did. And I'm really bullish on all of those opportunities and just the massive growth that we have ahead of us.
Yeah. Can you actually talk a little about Hardcourt, the upcoming game? Because I would guess there's a few people who just maybe they've heard a rumor or something, or at least they're not. Maybe they don't even know anything about it. But obviously, the FIFA, there's a lot of overlap there. Yeah.
So there's. I think it's beyond rumors at this point, but the Top Shot team has confirmed that they have a video game in development called NBA Hardcourt. And we don't know exactly the details of this game, but it's essentially going to be some sort of game involving playing basketball, and the moments that you own will have a utility in the game. So I think one of the examples that they referenced in one of their blog posts was, say I have Steph Curry on my team and I have some LeBron James moments, and I can use those moments to give Steph Curry LeBron's dunking ability, so that when I play my game, I now have like a souped up Steph Curry. So little things like that, I think, also, again, just bring a whole nother group of people in with a whole nother different purpose. So there's not only going to be the marketplace aspect of it and the buying and selling and the opening of packs, but there's also going to be a video game that you can choose to participate in that brings a whole nother level to this. And that doesn't even go beyond the NBA, right? We already know that the Dapper team has a contract with the UFC. They also have some MMA. I think UFC.
I don't know if it's okay. Sorry, I wasn't sure if it was
same thing.
But
same thing. Okay. And then they also have something with Dr. Seuss, which I don't really know exactly what that means. We've heard rumors of conversations with the NFL. Obviously, in the US, the NFL would be a slam dunk. Well, although I think we maybe think about that a little bit more narrowly, thinking that that's the biggest slam dunk because it's the biggest in the US. But worldwide appeal, maybe not so much. So just so much opportunity here, not just in the NBA space, but in the Top Shot space in general, or just in this digital collectibles space in general. And we're really excited about it and truly believe that this is just getting started. And we've even continued to see massive growth. I mean, 55,000 plus people in line today. If that doesn't get you excited, then I don't know what to tell you, because that's a lot of people.
Well, actually, I know you're going to say it. It's fine, whatever. So with the Dr. Seuss, I think the actual Dr. Seuss thing is fantastic. I think Harry just mentioned it, and apologies for what happened to Harry. But Dr. Seuss's actual art is extremely valuable. There was a store down in the Tampa St. Pete area when we walked by where those pieces of art are going for tens of thousands of dollars. And I think it's a general idea of, we see how hot the NFT market is with the crypto punks, with the MetaMasks, with some of the other forms of digital art. Even Mark Cuban was just doing a song the other day that's now an NFT. But I think it's really cool to say, like, hey, there is a real world art following, almost a cult following around these Dr. Seuss artworks. Is there a way that we can create these into NFTs? Is there a way we can actually put these in the blockchain and turn these into a new digital artwork? And so I have no idea who the actual target market is there, because I would guess the current target market for Dr. Seuss is primarily not people who are young, tech savvy, tech forward. But I don't think that matters anymore. And I think initially I was thinking, okay, this is interesting. It'll bring historically Dr. Seuss people to this kind of NFT world. But I think it's more of it's going to bring new generations to Dr. Seuss artwork. And so that is going to be, I think, a great use case for a variety of other areas, whether it's art, music, etc. To say, hey, this is a way to bring a new product to a new target demographic, to a new demographic, and just significant opportunity there. Gonna pull a Horton Here's a Who #1. I mean, that would be a fun show. Let's just go through. What is going to be the most popular, like one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish? Like if you can get that one as the number 2, because it obviously rhymes with blue, like that's got to have some big numbers there. Maybe an 8, because an 8 sideways kind of looks like a fish. Like there's opportunities here.
I'm gonna have to start getting up on my Dr. Seuss game. Reread The Cat in the Hat. Big Green Eggs and Ham fan. So I'm gonna have to get into the lab, start to read up on Dr. Seuss. Make sure that we're well prepared when the Dr. Seuss streets begin to happen, and we can hit that marketplace. Oh, PGA, yes, Bill.
You'd love
yes. This is my jam right here. This is also producer Q. I mean, all three of us are golfers. But I'm a big PGA daily fantasy sports player, so I'm always watching golf on Sunday, being like, man, that would make for like Daniel Berger's putt yesterday on 18. Like I would love to see that moment there, making the like 20-some footer for Eagle to seal the deal. So many cool moments with Tiger Woods in the past. I think PGA would be a good one. I also think that the PGA fan base is pretty like into this kind of stuff. Like gambling is pretty significant in PGA, and I think there's definitely a crossover between folks that like to sports bet and participate in those kinds of things, and people that are going to be interested in this. So, and I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure where the PGA itself stands, but they seem to be becoming more and more progressive. Like they're talking about the live bets during their shows now. So I could see PGA really considering this and getting involved. That would be amazing.
I think the challenge, and maybe it worked for, I mean, if it's working for MMA, it may be okay. But like with the NBA, you need the Players Association to be bought in. And so every single moment before it actually gets minted and put on Top Shot actually goes through a review process with the NBA and the Players Association to actually say, yes, we are good with that. So you actually need the approval. Maybe with the MMA, you don't need that Players Association approval because the rights are fully owned by kind of that overseeing organization. I don't know how golf would play there, because like, while now just getting way down the actual rabbit hole, but like the Masters isn't actually PGA, and you have the European Tour, you have various different tours and stuff. So maybe if you have the PGA, you're only going to get some of the majors, and you would get those tournaments. It's a bit more
good point,
siloed or fraction, but without a doubt, oh my gosh, just thinking of like all those highlights that we continue to envision, like the Tiger chip in, that just amazing stuff. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, in golf notoriously gets in its own way, so who knows what would happen there? But yeah, that would be absolutely fire to see golf come to this.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of people now mention So Rare. I saw the mention of Gary Vee being involved or participating in So Rare. We are, or at least I am familiar with it. Have not gotten involved personally, but my understanding is that So Rare is almost even more like a FIFA Ultimate Team. It's kind of like a crossover between the collectibles and some sort of fantasy soccer game. You know what, but obviously soccer, you talk about worldwide sport, like soccer blows everything out of the water. So I'd be curious if something like the So Rare is what takes off, or if Dapper ends up getting involved in soccer. I would love for us to have a podcast at some point. If somebody knows a lot more about So Rare, that would be, is that what you're going to go with? Yeah, that would be an awesome show, because we don't know a ton about it, but we would love to learn more. And I'm sure our viewers would.
This really is an NFT podcast. Like obviously our heavy focus right now is Top Shot, because that's where the interest is, and that's where we're really diving in. But as Dapper Labs and other areas continue to grow, we're definitely going to jump into them as well. I do think we are probably going to bring on some people sometime along the road to actually talk about some of the crypto punks and some of the actual stuff that's being built out there in the NFT space without just Dapper Labs and just Top Shot. Because I think that that context is very helpful for us from an investor standpoint and how we really think about this market and growth going forward.
Yep, I'm looking at Crypto Slam right now. So Rare sitting in fourth in terms of sales volumes behind Top Shot, Hashmax, and CryptoPunks. But the bigger call out is that it's second in its user base. So there were 6,200 Top Shot buyers, 442 So Rare buyers. And while the Hashmax and the CryptoPunks have more sales, there's much fewer. Like there are only 57 CryptoPunks buyers just because those things are so expensive and it's such a small niche market. Same with the Hashmax masks. But yeah, we are definitely looking to learn more about all of the other NFTs in the space. We've been pretty heads down on Top Shot now, but our future plans is, like Justin said, this is an NFT podcast, an NFT group, and we're looking forward to diving into some of those other activities with you guys as well.
Yeah, I think CryptoPunks is kind of blown up over even the past 48 hours, as you'll see a few of the big Top Shot names that we all know change their Twitter profile pages to CryptoPunks that they purchased.
Jack did. Did you see Jack Settlement?
Jack did. Andy did as well. There were a couple others out there, and it's really interesting. And so at a high level, what these are kind of the first form of an NFT. This was kind of the genesis of it. And there are images that if you look at, it looks like a computer game from maybe 1988, created different personas. And these, I think, are just representative of the future, the opportunity of NFT. And if NFTs end up being as part of our daily lives as we expect going forward, they will always, be looked back on as, hey, this was the first. This was the true genesis of it. Right now, I agree with you. It is a bit more of a niche market. It is a very high price just to own one of them. I think the base right now is around like $25,000. And so that's not really accessible. But I think it's also right now, it is a representation of wealth and a representation of kind of social. There's a level of social capital there, especially among the circles that have been involved in the crypto for a little while. I have a high level of confidence the majority of people who own these CryptoPunks are ones who made a significant amount of money through the crypto over the years. And this is kind of a social symbol for now. I think going forward, it's going to be far more of, hey, if you believe in NFTs, then this is kind of the prized possession to hold on to. And, I am going to step out for a couple of minutes. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like the people participating in those spaces are definitely, like Justin said, some of the OGs of crypto. They're thinking about it more in terms of, how many Ethereum am I paying for this? And to them, 50 Ethereum, maybe they got that for, super cheap back in the day. So they're not thinking about it like it's $90,000 or $100,000 or whatever it is today. They're strictly thinking in terms of that. So we are not the experts in any of those spaces, but definitely looking to learn more, and hopefully we'll have some folks on the shows that can speak to some of those other topics in the future. All righty. Well, Justin had to step out. I feel like we've pretty much exhausted the show at this point. It's been 2 hours, so I think it's fine to just go ahead and close this out. Thank you guys for spending this pack sweat with us. Good luck to everyone out there that is still in line. Hopefully you're all able to secure your Cool Cats packs and get out there into the marketplace. We will be back tomorrow night, so you don't have to wait long to hear from us again. We'll be live at 8:30 Eastern time with the one and only Jack Settlement, talking more Top Shot, talking about why he recently changed his profile picture to a CryptoPunk. Should be a fun show and a lot of energy from the young man himself. Go ahead, follow us on Twitter at OwnTheMomentNFT. Subscribe to us on YouTube, hit the like button, all of that good stuff. Really appreciate the support. If you'd like to get into the Discord and get on the waiting list, shoot me a DM on Twitter personally at TJL5124DFS. your best bet of getting to us in the DMs is probably through the personal one. I've been noticing that some of the DMs to the Own the Moment account are getting lost because we're getting a lot of them. So if you want to get the link to the Discord waitlist, you can just DM me directly and I will help you out for there. Coop, any final words for the people before we send them on their way?
No, absolutely. I think it was a good show tonight. Like TJ had mentioned, we're going to continue to try to do this on a regular basis. Hang out, sweat the packs. I think it's fun to see, if there are some good pulls on the show, and continuing to listen to what you guys want to hear and continuing to try to bring this community together. So yeah, I saw in the chat, Matt. Yeah, there's about 17,000 packs left. Good luck the rest of the night. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
All righty. So for Justin, who had to step away for a second, for producer Coop, who is in front of the camera right now, I am TJ Lasig. This was Own the Moment, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks.